to this week's vlog. Today you can see I'm somewhere completely different. I'm not in Bath, I'm not in Paris, I'm in London. Because I went back home for the weekend, and where I live is quite close to London, it's easy to get here by train, so I thought I would come for a day out because I haven't been to London in so long and I miss it. And I am walking to the Wallace Collection. I'm going to start my day there. It's a beautiful art gallery with beautiful paintings and I can't wait to have a look around, so that's where I'm heading now. I've made it to the Wallace Collection. It's in this beautiful building. What I love is at the other side, it's next to this square with a garden, and I love that in London there's plenty of these private gardens that are closed and just for residents, so only local people can go in. And they seem to have a tent set up. It looks like they've got some event going on, which is really sweet. It's got like bunting, probably for the Jubilee since that's coming up, but yeah, it's really lovely and I'm about to head in and I can't wait.
I like the spirit of this great London which I feel around me, said the author Charlotte Bronte upon discovering London for the first time. And I can't help but agree with her. I may be a country girl at heart, but I can't help being drawn to the energy and inspiration of the city from time to time. The Wallace Collection, located in Hertford House in Manchester Square, the former London townhouse of the Seymour family, is a free museum and one of my favourites in London. It houses a collection of art spanning from the 15th to 19th centuries, with my favourites being the impressive array of 18th century French paintings by the likes of Fragonard, Watteau and Boucher. Interestingly, much of this was bought during the revolutionary sales held in France following the French Revolution, and for this reason the UK is particularly rich in works from the Ancien Régime. The art on display was collected throughout the 18th and 19th centuries by 5 generations of British aristocracy, the first 4 Marquesses of Hertford, followed by Sir Richard Wallace, the illegitimate son of the 4th Marquess. The Marquesses of Hertford were one of the wealthiest families in Europe during the 19th century, and they owned large properties across England, Wales and Ireland. And this wealth, combined with good taste, enabled the family to become leading art collectors of their time. The art was made available to the public in 1897 when Lady Wallace gifted it to the British nation. Today, the Wallace Collection has 5,500 pieces of art, as well as an impressive collection of arms and armour, porcelain, furniture and sculptures, and is free to visit, so I would recommend adding it to your list when you take a trip to London. It is well worth it to take in some of the collection's highlights, including Fragonard's The Swing, which is an enchanting painting to see in person, as well as Canaletto's paintings of Venice, the Rainbow Landscape by Rubens, and the famous Laughing Cavalier by Frans Hals, all displayed in the most beautiful rooms adorned with lavish wallpapers and glittering chandeliers. Afterwards, I stopped off at the pretty tea rooms at the centre of the museum to enjoy a pot of Venetian rose tea, which was really good, and a traditional scone with clotted cream and jam. The quality is exceptional, and it was a peaceful spot for me to take a moment to read and relax. At the Wallace Collection, I also went to the exhibition Inspiring Walt Disney, the animation of French decorative arts, and I have to say that it is one of the best exhibitions I've ever been to. They displayed a combination of American 20th century hand-drawn animation, side by side with French 18th century art, to demonstrate the similarities between the two artistic movements, and how Disney animators drew inspiration from French art and architecture. Walt Disney himself was fascinated by Europe, and much of his work was inspired by literature and visual traditions from countries like England, France and Germany. He first went to France in 1918 after World War I as an ambulance driver with the Red Cross. He returned to the USA the following year and created the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio in LA in 1923 with his brother, which would later become the Walt Disney Company. However, he soon organised a grand tour of Europe, arriving in London in the summer of 1935. The romanticism of Disney's animations are clearly marked by his travels throughout Europe. The magnificent castles, beautiful artwork and ancient traditions sparked his imagination. He returned to America with over 330 books on art, architecture and, most importantly, fairy tales, fables and bedtime stories, such as Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast. Walt Disney then used his power of storytelling to transform these tales into animated films, turning them into household names.
So I had a wonderful time at the Wallace Collection. It's literally my favourite museum in London. It's so beautiful. And I've stopped at Ottolenghi to get a salad for lunch, and I'm walking to Regent's Park. And I'm going to sit and eat my lunch and let you know what I thought of the exhibition because it was really good. I really loved it. So I can't wait to just tell you all about it. area of London, which is probably one of my favourite parts of London. I'm walking past the Royal Academy of Music, which is like one of the conservatoires of music, and I can just hear people playing instruments. It's amazing. But anyway, I'm in Mayfair, which is one of my favourite parts, and the weather is unusually beautiful for London. It's really nice, and the houses are really pretty here, and it's just so lovely to walk around. I haven't been to London in so long. So I've stopped for my picnic, and I have a really good salad. I'll show you what it looks like. It's like this, and basically at Ottolenghi they have lots of different bowls of different things. You can choose what you put in. So I've got some broccoli, some aubergine, some beans, and a kofta, lamb kofta, so it looks really good. And it smells really good, and you can choose the size of the box, which is good because I don't really eat much, so I just got the small box. You can see it's really pretty. I've got the view of the lake in front of me and I'm going to eat, but the Wallace Collection was amazing. It was really good. What I love about that museum is they have lots of 18th century French art, which is one of my favourite styles. So paintings by Fragonard, Watteau, Boucher, all of their paintings are there, and it's just beautiful. I just love them. They're so just so picturesque and peaceful, and I just love the colours, like the really calming tones, like the pinks and greens. It's just beautiful. And what was really interesting is they have a temporary exhibition on Disney and how Walt Disney drew inspiration from Rococo French art, so like porcelain, furniture, the paintings, and how that inspired lots of his animations. So Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast were inspired by Chateau of the Loire Valley and basically his time there, and it's really cool to see the links they drew between something modern, like modern animation, and then the historic inspiration, and they had them side by side, so you see the object and then the character from Beauty and the Beast that was inspired by it. And also what's really interesting is that during the Rococo times, animating inanimate objects was almost a trend. So there was a book about sofas, and like from the perspective of a sofa that was written, like a French book during that period. So it's interesting that that was something that was done before and is done now. So yeah, it was a really cool exhibition and I loved it. Something really unique. So yes, I wasn't really allowed to film much inside the exhibition, but I think I managed to get a few shots, so it was good. And now I'm going to eat my lunch because I'm really hungry. The salad is actually so good. Like, I really recommend going to Ottolenghi if you're looking for a salad place in London. It's kind of pricey, but it's really good quality. Like, the vegetables are really well seasoned, and I got a little pot of tzatziki as well for the kofta, so it's really nice. But anyway, about the Wallace Collection. So another reason I really love it is because the rooms are so beautiful. Like, all the rooms are so ornate, and it kind of reminds me of Paris when I used to go around all the museums there, because it's so, just everything is beautiful. You don't know where to look first. And yeah, so after walking around, I went to the restaurant tea room that they have, which is right in the middle. They have like a covered courtyard area, and I had a scone and it was really nice. And I also got Venetian rose tea because I love rose tea and it's something a bit different, really special, and it was really nice. So I sat there and I read for a bit, and then afterwards I went so just walked around Mayfair and Marylebone a bit, and I went to Daunt Books because I've never been there. It's a really famous bookstore, and it's really interesting because it's separated by country. So the books are separated depending on like where the author's from or where it's set, and obviously they have normal sections as well. But I just find that a really interesting concept because I've never seen books separated by country before as like the way of organising the bookshop. So obviously I was attracted to the part that was about France and Italy. Like, those two sections are my favourite because they're my favourite countries, but I kind of looked around everywhere. I didn't buy any books because I have too many. I've been banned from buying more books, but I had a look around and it's really pretty, and a historic bookshop. So that's another place I would recommend going to if you come to London. But yeah, it's just really peaceful here in Regent's Park. I've never been to this park before actually, it's my first time, and it's really nice. It's kind of, it's not filled with tourists or anything like Hyde Park is. It's a bit more peaceful, so it's really nice. Spot for a walk on a sunny day. And did you see the swans? I showed them a minute ago. And a fun fact about swans is that in England all swans belong to the Queen, so it's illegal to kill them or injure them or take them or anything. They're property of the Queen. So there you go, fun fact of the day. Just walking and I saw one of those blue circular plaques next to the house, and that always means that someone famous lived there, so it's always worth stopping if you see one of those to read who it was. And that house that I just filmed, Frances Hodgson Burnett lived there. She's the author of The Secret Garden, and I never knew she lived in this part of London, so that was really cool to spot that.
We're so into blue skies, but we don't hear the thunder. We're dreaming about the past, but going under. We're going under. All for the better, we turn and walk away. All for the better, at least that's what they say.
So I'm walking back to the train station, walking along the River Thames. There's the London Eye just behind me. It's been a long day, I'm tired, lots of walking, and it's very busy now. I think I'm getting more into central London, and also it's Saturday and it's good weather, so it's just really busy everywhere. But I'm heading home. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed having a little explore around London and seeing some of my favourite parts of London. It's something a bit different, and I really enjoyed the day there. If you like my video, then please subscribe to my channel to join me on more adventures, and I will see you next time. Bye!